Hi everyone, it's Jordan again, and for today I am actually going to be reading one of my poems. A friend of mine came up with this topic, and she and I each wrote a poem about it this past weekend, and here is mine. The topic is change. Why is it the thought of change brings with it such a mystery? I must admit that it is strange. Wrapped inside one word can be biggest joys and great surprise. Moments you just can't wait for. Pain that brings tears to your eyes and knocks you down onto the floor. Change can bring such fear and dread with all the things you just don't know. Or a glimmer of hope instead, when you're ready to let go. I've seen change bring me to my knees. I've seen change help me stand. We know that change is all of these, but all change is in God's hand. So what I wanted to capture in this poem, and I'm hoping that you heard it and you caught it, is just how many sides change actually has. I mean, think about it. The thought of change, the idea of change can mean so many things. And this is not a new concept to you guys. I mean, all of you know this because all of you have seen change. The small change that you hardly even really notice doesn't really matter at all. And the huge life-altering change, the great change, the maybe, something you've been waiting for a long time actually finally happens, or some big surprise comes your way. Change can be amazing, or it can also be horrible change that completely breaks you. Your biggest fears coming true, or someone you love passing away, or change can be all of these things and so much more. I mean, we could sit here and just talk forever about the idea of what change could really be and the scope that it has, and we've each, you could share your stories, I could share my stories of the changes that we've experienced in our lives, big and small, and I know that I've seen all of them, and so have you. You know this. So that's one of the things, but the point of the message, the point of what I really wanted to get across in this poem is at the very last line. So I hope you all stuck with me for the very last line, because the last line of the poem says, change is all of these, but all change is in God's hand. A lot of times, honestly, sometimes just all the time, change can feel so random. Have you ever felt like that? Like all of a sudden you wake up one day and, this major thing has changed in your life, and you're just thinking, why was that today? Why did that have to change? I don't understand. This makes no sense. Like, this is so random that it had to happen this way, that all these things had to change, and all these things seem to not be changing right now, but maybe they'll change in the future. Who knows? Because it's so random. There's no reason for it. Well, that's what I wanted to get across mainly, is that there is a reason. There is a reason for every single change that we go through in life. And the reason is that God's got a plan for all of us and for every single part of our lives, and the changes that we experience. The big ones, the small ones, the great ones, the horrible ones that seem to make no sense at all. They are all part of that plan. God knows what He's doing, and He asks us to trust Him, even with the changes that we don't see coming, the changes that we struggle to make sense of, or even sometimes just struggle every day to deal with. Some changes will just never go away, and they're just things that we have to deal with and give to God and say, all right, fine, you know what, if this is the way that you want things to be now, you have a reason for it. You have a plan for it. So no matter what change, if you're going through a change in your life, or you've been through one and you're still wrestling with it, or even just looking ahead and knowing, yeah, man, everything changes in this world, doesn't it? Nothing stays the same. That's one of the hardest parts, is that we know no moment is going to stay, right? Everything comes and goes in this world. We know that. But you know what? I want you to just be encouraged by the fact that whatever change happens in your life, or is happening, or has happened, there is a point to it. There is a reason for it. God is in control. God is in control of every single thing that we go through, every single change, every single moment. It's all in God's hand. You are in God's hand. And there's no better place to be. There's no safer place to be. So trust in that today. Trust in the fact that God's not going to let you go. God's not going to let you down. And you know what? That is the one thing that will absolutely never change. God is good all the time. I love you guys.